Laapataa Ladies is a nostalgic comedy drama that is so wholesome and such a lovely watch. It's directed by Kiran Rao, who also produced it with Aamir Khan and Jyoti Deshpande. Highly recommend it. It is about newlyweds on a train going to their respective villages after their weddings, and because all the brides are wearing the ghungut, the veil, the grooms mixed up their brides, and the girls didn't know that they were going with the wrong groom because they had their veil down the whole time during the trip. So two girls got swapped essentially and had to find their way back home or find their way to pursue the dream that they want. And it's so different. It's so lovely. I highly recommend it. We were watching it because we were trying to find something to watch, like me and my family, after dinner, and we were just on Netflix, and majority of the movies that we came across on Netflix have been such flops, and I'm so happy we came across this one. And it was because my mom knew that Aamir Khan was a part of producing it, and she was like, we have to watch it. She was like, that's all I need to know to be signed up. It was hilarious and poignant, and it was about tradition getting in the way of progress. And it's so funny how they use the metaphor of the veil throughout the movie, but it actually was metaphor and was actually literal too. It just kept getting in the way of progress, that even men were like, oh my gosh, like there's a line from the dad that's like this veil is gonna be the death of me, because it just kept getting in the way of progress. And I love how that's also a metaphor for just tradition that is meant to just keep suppress women in certain ways, will also affect everybody. In a society where 50% of the population is suppressed, that's not gonna be a successful society for anybody, so I love that they showed this through humor. It was a comedic movie that was making a very serious point, and it did not venture into the realm of lecturing at all. They actually make you root for women's freedom yourself. And it's set in rural towns in India, but you don't have to be Indian or even speak the language to feel something about this movie. And I highly recommend it to everybody, because women are mistreated in the entire world. This isn't just in, this village. We all experience these things. No matter who you are, you can definitely relate, and you can feel like this. I feel like when people talk about like a cathartic movie, I never understand that, because I don't like to I don't like what people call cathartic. The humor in this and the positivity felt cathartic to me. Maybe cathartic's not the right word, but it felt like healing to me, because this movie was like a love letter to good, decent people in the world, and decent people who don't follow the toxicity of the patriarchy, and people who stand up against what's wrong, and people who persevere through really hard things happening in their life, and they figure out a way out of it. So yeah, it's a love letter to really decent people in this world, and I love that this movie made a point but also spread like a lot of hope. And it's all for like that feeling of freedom, and freedom feels the same everywhere. It's a universal human feeling, and the right to it is for all humans. The story was written by Biplab Goswami, who actually submitted his story amongst 4,000 other stories, and he was chosen. And he said he's always, like, since childhood, he understood it, that there was gender inequality. He saw it. He saw like the patriarchy all growing up, and it was always like lingering in his mind. And then he said that one night he was in a village, he was traveling, and he saw a girl walking totally by herself and walking a really far distance, and she just kept walking, and she was just alone. And that scene, he said, was what prompted this story. He did an amazing job conceptualizing, writing the story, coming up with all the characters, and then the screenplay was adapted by Sneha Desai and Divyanidhi Sharma, and they killed it with the dialogue. There is so much fun dialogue, and I really love that the story, the screenplay, and the acting were allowed to shine, Like there wasn't a huge like Bollywood dance number or even like huge actors. I love like Amir Khan and Karan Rao. It was an article that said that they made this choice of getting unknown people, or actors starting out in their careers, or just aren't the big name actors. I'm glad they made that choice because it allowed these actors to shine, and it felt so raw, and there was nothing distracting us from the rawness and beauty of the actors as well as the story. And I think that's just, it helped with the story. It made the story even richer. And for the screenplay, I just love how much time they put into character development. We really got to know the characters. We saw all of the relationships start from the beginning, from strangers to becoming so much more, and be like the bonds we saw that were built. It wasn't like quick. It was like we saw every step of it, and I love seeing human interactions like that, and the character development. It's so important because it really makes you just so invested in the story. And the actors were top notch. The actress that played Pool, one of the brides that got lost, her name is Nitanshi Goel, and she was only 16, and I can't even believe it. Like you could tell she's very cute, very innocent, but it just blows my mind that she was 16 when filming this, and she just killed it. Oh gosh, she so many emotions come just watching her act, and she played the innocence so well, and the emotions of being lost and trying to get back to where you are. And gosh, she just did an amazing job, honestly. And then her counterpart, the other bride who was lost, was such a different character. And I love that we were blessed in this movie with 3 dynamic women, and they were all so different. And oh gosh, I loved it. And so the second actress that I want to mention is, she played the character Jaya, and her name is Pratibha Ranta, and she played her role as a very clever and resourceful, independent type character. And she had a totally different dream in mind. Her dream and Pool's dreams were totally different, and I love that we got to see both of their journeys for different things. And the character Manju Mai, she is the third dynamic female character, and they wrote her so well, and she was such a great contrast to Pool. It was just so beautiful to see their dynamic. So I really hope you enjoyed that. And the last actor I want to mention is Ravi Kishan. He did exquisite character work for his role as the inspector. When I saw the man, I was like, oh my god, I hate this guy. I've seen this guy a billion times. Oh my god. He caused so many emotions in me, and he killed that role. Of course, I gave this movie a 10 out of 10 on Somindram. I think it is amazing in every way, and I highly recommend you watch it. And thankfully it's very accessible. It's on Netflix, so easy watch. Watch it with your family, watch it after dinner. It feels like a good time. Everyone's chilling, just watch it, have little fun discussions. But yeah, it's a good vibe. And you can also check out the movie page on Somindram. There's a whole movie report that gives you more information about it, and there's a whole list of basically who worked on the film, and you can rate every single person. These are my ratings, but you can rate every role that you want to on Somindram, so check it out.